From the cursed crypts of late-night lobbies and the flaming wreckage of chaotic conversations, they rise again louder, weirder, and undeniably fueled by ADHD, energy drinks, and a long trail of bad decisions. Welcome back to the Undead Family Podcast. A group of longtime friends who've been gaming, screaming, and wildly scheming together for years, and now they're dragging listeners right back into their whirlwind of digital chaos. Buckle up, it's weird in here.
I'm Ducky.
I'm Goblin.
I'm Reaper.
And I'm Hank.
New topics, old grudges, wild stories, silly rules, and way too much yelling. They are back and just as unhinged, unfiltered, and unnecessarily crazy as ever. Brace yourself for surprise, side-switching, wildly inconsistent discussions, recurring inside jokes, and the occasional mid-episode chaos. Chaos reigns, nobody is safe. Subscribe now and you'll never be bored.
Welcome back to the Undead Family Podcast. It's been almost 2.5 years since we last recorded. The last episode we did was our Lake Lanier adventure back in September of 2022, which feels like forever ago, honestly. We want to be real from the start. The reason we stopped recording was because we lost one of our main hosts. She was a very close friend of ours. Losing her was one of the hardest things that any of us had faced. It hit us deep, and honestly, just doing the podcast without her energy felt wrong. We did record a couple of episodes after that, but I never got around to editing them. I think all of us just kind of needed some space to heal and get our shit together, honestly. Grief isn't neat or tidy. It's messy, confusing, and doesn't follow anybody's schedule. So that was hard for us. But yeah, after some time though, we realized that she would want us to keep going, to keep the Undead family alive, and that's why we're here today. Back, ready to bring you all new episodes. We got a new host to join us in our shenanigans, to help bring fresh energy, fresh voices. Like I said, we added a new host, Hank. He's already been a blast to hang out with. Like, honestly, he just is a whole nother level of, adds a whole nother level of crazy. And he really completes our little squad. What?
And we now have cameras on, so now you get to put
Yes.
faces to names.
You have faces to names. Let me tell you, it is a struggle for me to keep my camera on, and I'm sorry for the faces I make. My face is a book. It's going to tell you exactly how I feel. Hank is going to get a camera set up, but yeah, we'll be able to put faces to names. Hank, why don't you say hi to everybody and take the spotlight off of me?
Everybody. Hank's old as shit.
He's not that much older than the rest of us. Jesus.
Wait, I don't even know how old Hank is.
I remember seeing Reagan while he was still president on TV.
For real?
Yes.
Why did I think you were like 38?
I know how old Hank is. I was just saying,
You're
I know
43?
how old Hank is.
Holy
Yes.
shit. I thought you were like 38 years old. Wow, you are the dad of the
Wait,
group. How does that make you feel?
You guys are making more gray hairs pop out.
Oh,
You're
Jesus.
only 9 years older than me.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's only 12 years older than me. Like he's not that much older, but like what's really funny, but Hank is an old soul.
Yes.
So like he's 43. Sometimes I think he's 63.
Which
Very
I've heard
much
my
so.
whole life.
Very much so.
And but he's great. We fucking love Hank.
Yes.
He's the best.
We do
And I love y'all.
Yay. Yeah. So yeah, that's us. Full transparency, we did try to record a new episode last week. But it was a hot mess. We're not going to talk about the technical glitches that happened by nobody's fault. At all. No one. We're just going to skip right over that. Not only did we have really wild double audio and it sounded like we were all in a cup, we went on endless tangents and it ran over about 3.5 hours. And there was no way to save it because halfway through the recording, after we finished our topics that I brought to the table, we just fly away and
I mean,
just
we had literally not just sat down and talked
Yeah.
for like without gaming in so long that it just went, and we
Yeah.
went from rabbit hole to tangent to spider web.
Yeah, it was great. It was very needed. It helped us kind of see a good structure because we want to keep the structure we had before where we, talk about stuff, but also tangent, but we also want to keep some type of structure. So yeah, we regrouped, got some things put back together. We have created some silly rules and fun challenges for ourselves. And now we're going to aim to release episodes weekly. It's ambitious, but I think we can do it as long as we stick to our schedule. We'll see how that goes. One cool thing we're doing is we are going to have a rotating host system. So each week, a different host brings a topic to the table. It'll keep things fresh, unpredictable, and it's kind of a lot of fun. If you've ever listened to other podcasts that do it, it's different and it keeps things entertaining. So whether you're new to the Undead family or you've been here since the beginning, thanks for sticking around and welcome back. We hope you enjoy what you hear. Before we start with today's topic, let's go ahead and take a moment to share some life updates. I guess I'll start because that's what my script says over there. So fun fact for today, I went to put in my contacts and they were dry. So I had to pull out some very old contacts that are for this eye. This eye, my left eye, sorry for those who are not watching. My left eye is my worst eye. Worst eye? Worst eye. So the contact that is currently in there is a full point less strength than it needs. So there's going to be a lot of blinking and pauses because I again have a script on that. It's also massive, so I can read it. So there's that. What else? If you guys listened before, you knew the Nugget was in football. He is now in middle school. We have a 12th grader, not a 12th grader, a 12-year-old. Sorry, I do that every time. He did his last youth football last season while he was in elementary school. We did 3 seasons of football with no injuries until we didn't. And in halfway through this season, he broke his thumb, was out for a game, and then played a game, and then 4 weeks later broke his collarbone. So that was super fun. Nothing like testing out your insurance deductible. But yeah, that's all I got. What about you, Reaper?
Since the last time we did this, I got divorced, got remarried, moved to Kentucky, and kind of just where I've been at. Been doing a little bit of iRacing here and there, and coaching baseball this year, which is the first for me. Um, got our first game this coming Friday, so it'll be fun.
That's exciting.
I kind of hope it rains. we got
Reaper.
a 70% chance of rain, so I'm like, please rain out.
Okay. What about you, Gob? Like I don't know your life updates.
I know, right? Life updates. Well, I got rid of the Z. That's the big one.
Yep.
The Z is gone. It is, I mean, not gone, but it's up in Kansas. Shipped it up there to the dad's barn. My brother,
family.
yeah, I did join the Chevy family. It got me a Silverado.
Yes.
Which is great. Ducky really loves climbing in and out of it.
I do.
It's got a 4-inch lift and level kit on it.
And I'm not short. I'm 5'8" and I struggle.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad to be in a truck. And I filled it up from completely empty for $60 today, so that was not as bad as I remember my F-150 being back in the day.
Mine with a 22-gallon tank roughly cost me about $55-$60.
Yeah.
My
I thought-
Silverado's a 35-gallon tank.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't remember what. I think my F-150 was like 28 or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's gone. It took him about a week to tear the wrap off of it, I guess. Probably full time. And then he just got an Acura RSX, so he doesn't really care about the Z anymore, which is fine with me because it means that he's not messing with my car and doing things to it, which is great. Like, don't touch it.
Right.
I didn't want you to touch it. But overall,
When you studied, he took the wrap off of it. It's
To
like,
be
well,
fair, the wrap did need to come off though.
sure.
it needed a rewrap. I swear to God, if this makes my fucking PC restart, I'm gonna be pissed. But I'll deny it if it does. But anyway, yeah, just been pushing content out. We've been doing the Doom series for Doom the Dark Ages, and it's great. Hank loves it. He watches every video, except he's mad at me right now because I did not post a video today.
Trust me, I checked this morning and when I got home.
Yeah. I depending on how I feel, I had sushi after work, an all you can eat sushi buffet. And the look on Ducky's face says it all. She's very upset with me. And so we will see how I feel after this podcast. If I have it in me to record an episode tonight. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot has gone on, really. The Ducky hasn't already covered.
Let's get the show rolling. So I
Well, in all
will
fairness,
be.
you were doing your intro thing, so
I know.
I wasn't really talking.
That's true. So I will be taking the host reins today. And we are going to dive into the mind-boggling world of aphantasia, where your mind's eye takes a permanent coffee break. So let's start with the basics of aphantasia. And no, it's not a potion you buy from a sketchy wizard in an alley. It's a condition where people cannot create mental images. So, really simplified, aphantasia is when someone can't picture images in their mind. It means they don't see the things in their head that most people do. Now, if I say red apple, are any of you picturing a shiny, juicy, possibly seductive piece of fruit? If not,
I can picture it.
you may just have aphantasia. What are you doing?
I think they don't have no inner monologue either, don't they?
Okay, squirrel. Right there. Squirrel. But yeah, so if you don't, you may just have aphantasia. We all passed kindergarten, so we all know what an apple looks like. But can you really see it, or do you just know what an apple is? So, real talk. I want you all to close your eyes and think of an apple. All right? Are you just thinking apple in like Times New Roman font? Or do you physically see a version of an apple, whether it's just the outline, the color, or is it like there is an apple sitting right in front of your face?
I see a golden delicious apple on
Nice.
my side.
I mean, I can definitely see apple. Like, I don't have it. I don't like the aphantasia. I don't have it. I can absolutely picture things in my head.
All right, what about you, Reaper?
Well, I mean, I could picture the apple, but I can like if I think about it long enough, I can actually taste the apple.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't have I have aphantasia. So if the classic test for aphantasia, if you're trying to figure out if you have it or not, is basically what I just did for them. Close your eyes and try to picture a red apple. People with aphantasia like myself get nothing. Sometimes we'll see static, elevator music maybe. Others might get a blurry vibe like a dream from 2003. But for people with aphantasia, it's like trying to watch Netflix on a potato. Truly, it's strange. Our brains are just like, nah, not today. Let's stare at black, just blackness.
I
And
believe it's trouble for people with aphantasia, if I'm saying it right,
Uh-huh.
to draw the image too.
which makes a lot of sense because if you can't visualize it, how the feck are you gonna draw it?
Which is really funny, like considering that you're a writer.
Oh, I bring that up. Don't get ahead of my
And-
script.
And like, because I remember like me sitting there and you're like, hey, like Mr. Gun Guy, can you describe these guns to me?
Yeah.
I put up a picture and described it to you exactly what it was, where the attachments were on it, and you're like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
So I literally had to send you the picture.
Yeah.
So you could
Because
stare at it.
I literally can't see it. So for people who have aphantasia, they've done brain scans and told them to visualize something, and the brain just doesn't activate. Like they'll be scanning and seeing, and they'll put somebody who doesn't have aphantasia and somebody who does, and the part of your brain that lights up doesn't for people who have aphantasia. It's like the visual cortex is on a smoke break. So I find it super interesting that I'm getting double audio, sorry. That out of the four of us, you three can see the apple and I can't. So if you were to close your eyes, are you guys able to see yourself do a cartwheel? That was a question.
I mean,
I see myself falling on my butt. But
I was gonna say, like, I can see myself attempt
right.
to do a cartwheel, but I know what's gonna happen. I'll go up and then over, and then my left arm is gonna buckle and I'm gonna roll.
So I just posted a picture in our Discord so you guys can see the aphantasia test. I'll include a picture of it in the video. So this is the classic aphantasia test. You close your eyes and picture an apple in your mind. And depending on what you see, that tells you what level of aphantasia you have or don't have. So I am a number 5 through and through. Like, nope, I know I'm thinking of an apple. And so interestingly enough, if you are a 5, you are part of the 2 to 5% of people who have aphantasia. And I didn't know that I had aphantasia until I heard somebody talk about it and I went, holy shit, that's me. So it's super crazy. So I know what some of you are thinking, big whoop, you can't see stuff in your head, but it's actually really fascinating. People with aphantasia still know what things look like. They can describe a giraffe wearing sunglasses, write epic stories, design stuff. They just don't have the movie playing in their mind. In fact, Ed Catmull, we'll go with that, co-founder of Pixar, has aphantasia. The dude who helped make Toy Story can't picture Woody in his own head. Which is just crazy. So, like Goblin was saying, as a writer, I discovered I have aphantasia. And it's weird. I can't visualize what my characters are doing. There's no mental movie playing in my head, but I can still imagine how it would look. And it's not about seeing the scenes, it's more about knowing them. I feel the mood, the movement, the tone, and I can't, even if I can't picture the details, I've never felt like aphantasia has held me back creative wise. If anything, it showed me imagination doesn't have to be visual to be powerful, which I think is just fascinating, personally.
I mean, not only
That's
that
awesome.
though, if you have a creative enough mind to be able to paint the picture for, especially for like in your case, if you're a writer, if you can use descriptive language and paint the picture for your readers, people with aphantasia who read your stories are going to be like, I can see it, even though I can't really see it. I can see it.
Right,
I can picture
right. It's crazy because like I read the first, I think, 10 chapters to Goblin, after I did some editing, and he was like, "This is great. I can see it." And then I stopped, and he was like, "Why are you stopping?" And I was like, "Oh, sorry, my bad." Um,
Well, I was helping you with the convoy part of the book, and I was picturing the convoy the whole time we were talking it through.
right. That's
I
book
could
3.
see it like a movie.
That's book
Yeah.
3.
Oh,
Calm down.
yeah, yeah, I mean,
no spoilers, Hank.
No, I just said a
yes,
convoy.
right. But I mean, there's like, I mean, it's and that video is up, the dig a hole video, which was incredible. But me and Hank literally like basically helped write the entire end of book 2, and
And I had to
it,
scrub spoilers.
oh yeah, lots of spoilers were scrubbed. But like in that, I know me and Hank where it was like watching a movie while writing a movie while drawing pictures of
Exactly.
the environment of the movie, and I was like the whole time I'm like, I can see the looks on these guys' faces, like the reactions, like it was crazy. And just knowing that you had, and it was really funny, like trying to say like, this is gonna happen, and this is what the reaction would be,
Mm-hmm.
and you sitting there like, but I don't get it. And I'm like, but I'm telling you, like, we're seeing it in our head
Yep.
of how it's playing out, and I'm telling you it will work.
Yeah.
And you're just like, but I don't see it. I'm just like,
Best way I can explain it's like a reels on Facebook when
Yeah.
it's in reels come by.
It's one of those things. I know there's a couple of times that I asked you, or I read something and I was like, does this positioning make sense? If you get it, if you know, you know. Does this positioning make sense? And there was a couple of times where I was writing and I would stop, and I really wish I had recorded like what my face does when I'm writing, because one of the things that bothers me when I read is he smiles with his bottom teeth. For the two of you who have cameras on, smile with your bottom teeth for me, please.
I just tried it. I can't.
I mean, I
It's
really can't because
it's weird.
I've
Like
got
how?
yeah, I don't.
big ass top teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's so like I try to stay away from stuff like that. I try to make it smart and simple. And a lot of the facial features and not facials, but like what is the word I'm looking for?
Expressions.
Thank you. Come from Goblin. So the main character is loosely.
I smile with my bottom teeth.
No. It was an
I don't think
example
I've
from
ever done
another
that in
book.
my life.
It's an
I
example
don't
from
think
another book, and I'm leading into why I use your face for the loosely based off of you character in the book, because I can physically see your face, and it makes it easier for me to describe because I can see it. Whereas in my mind, if I'm like, okay, he smiles, like that could be your Joker smile, or it could be your super that smile, which is odd. But it helps, with people who have aphantasia. So there is a plot twist for people who have aphantasia. Some people who have aphantasia, I've said aphantasia 5 times in the same sentence. Sorry. Um,
At least.
they, when they're sleeping, they have dreams and they physically see what is happening. So it's interesting. Um, I am one of those people who have aphantasia who do have dreams. Granted, I don't always remember them, but I think that's pretty much everybody. But I
Oh, but when
do
you do, I'm always in trouble.
but I do have
Yeah.
dreams that I can picture. But when I wake up, like I'll remember seeing it, but trying to conjure it again, there's nothing. It's like our brain just goes full sleep cinema mode at night and reverts back to its normal strangeness. It's like Accountant by daylight, Salvador Dali by moonlight. It's so weird to me. It's crazy how the brain is wild. So, for you guys who don't have aphantasia, do you guys have dreams that you physically see? Like it's a movie playing in your head? Or is it just like feelings, ideas, or just chaos?
I actually see myself in the dream, and it's like it feels like it's all real until I wake up.
Yeah, I was gonna say normally if I see myself in the dream, then it gets really weird because then I know I'm dreaming. But it's usually most of my dreams are first person.
Well, I'm talking first person when I said it.
Well,
but
yeah,
no,
but what I mean by that is like I don't know if this ever happens to you where like say you're walking by like normally in my dreams, like if there's a reflection, I'm not gonna see myself in the reflection. But
I've never
rarely
thought of that.
sometimes I will, and when I do, I realize this is a dream, and then things go off the rails. Because then it's like, oh, I'm dreaming. There's not really as many strings attached now. You know?
I
So
mean,
especially
dreams-
like so what I mean by that is so especially lately because I've been playing a lot of Doom, I've had a few Doom dreams where I've dreamed about being the Doom guy and the Doom Slayer. And when I tell you there was one night where I was like, I don't know what I walked by. I walked by something and I just caught a reflection of like me behind the mask, like through the lens, and I was like, oh, I am Doom guy. I'm a fucking badass. And I just remember like literally like throwing the shield just like in the game and just being like fucking Captain America, bitch. Like and I mean just and there's different things, but your dreams. The dreams you remember, the description, like for somebody with that's what I don't understand. For somebody with aphantasia, you have given me the most descriptive dream report
It's the author
where
in me.
you were so mad at something that
Don't.
I didn't do.
Don't bring it up.
Oh, we're bringing it up.
No.
We're bringing this is getting brought up 100%. We're telling the whole story. So for Reaper and Hank, I think Reaper has heard this story. So
if it's the dream that I think you're talking about,
With the
Yeah, the
helicopter?
bank?
yeah,
Yeah.
you've heard. I think you've heard this
I
story.
have
I
not
don't know.
heard
If, I don't know if Hank has heard this story.
No.
So one morning I woke up and I woke up early, and if I wake up and I leave the bedroom before Ducky and Ducky wakes up, sometimes she gets very upset. And so I will from time to time just quietly put a movie on and low volume so it's not going to wake her up. And so I put on Lone Survivor. And it was quiet, wasn't too crazy. And she wakes up sometime on the mountain in the movie. And no spoilers because the entire movie is basically filmed on a mountain. But anyway,
You're
she
missing
wakes
a part.
up.
You're missing a part. Before I wake up, I was moaning and groaning and not in a good way.
Yes. Yes.
And you
were making
comforted me
noises.
by rubbing my back.
Yes, I did. I could tell you were having a not so nice dream. And you woke up and did not say 2 words to me. And I'm watching the movie and I literally paused it and was like, do you want me? I can turn this off. I know you don't, because you don't like those type of movies.
There's a reason
And so
for it,
you were-
unfortunately.
You were like, no, it's fine. You can watch it, whatever. And so I'm watching it and I can just feel like there's an energy in the room. And I've done nothing. I've been awake for like an hour longer than she has. I haven't left the room. And I finally look at her, I'm just like, what did I do? Like, what did I do to get this reaction? And I just remember pausing the movie. It hadn't even finished yet. I paused the movie and I asked you that, and you just said, how can you choose that fucking bitch Melissa over me? And I was like, who the fuck is Melissa? It's like, I don't even have a Melissa in my. What are you talking about?
So
And you told me this elaborate story, and I won't go into full detail on the story, but the elaborate story was that
you have
there
to
was a
because
big-
Hank needs to know.
yeah,
What
but I don't remember
happened?
all the specific
I
details. I know
do.
some of them. Of course you do. So I remember you saying that there was a bank robbery and that you were there and somehow you had gotten shot
Yep.
in the stomach, which, just for reference, very bad place to be shot and
Oh,
not
yeah.
treated very quickly.
Yep.
Um,
Well,
and
Wes,
some-
it was instant death.
and somehow I found out not only that there was a bank robbery where you were, but that you had been shot.
Mhm.
And in your exact words, I loaded up and went Rambo style. Keep in mind, the bank is surrounded by police, and somehow I got in and I took out the bank robbers.
Yep.
And then instead of getting you out to the front door where help was needed, somehow my genius, I got you to the roof to get medevaced.
Mhm.
And the medevac pilot person told me, oh, she's not going to make it. And I basically, in whatever words you said, but all I remember is me being like, well, fuck it. And I got in the helicopter and left you on the roof.
Yep.
And in her words, the helicopter went up from the roof, went over, and landed in the intersection right outside the building.
And I
Why couldn't
crawled.
this take you out the front door?
I
So
don't.
So
I
then
don't know.
she crawls to the edge of the building and she watches me get out of the helicopter, and some bitch Melissa walks up and hugs me. I don't remember if you said that she kissed me.
Yes.
You did. Keep in mind, I don't know Melissa. I think I know one Melissa, and it's a rep from the hospital. And I don't think I have ever mentioned her at all.
I don't know.
And even if I had, I don't even know what company she works for. I just know, I think there's one random rep that might be named Melissa. And anyway, so this was the funniest part, and I literally laughed in her face when she told me this story.
And then I started crying, and he felt bad.
And she did cry. And I felt bad, but I continued to laugh because it's still funny to me to this day. She said, keep in mind, bank robbery happened. Not really a time frame when this happened, but somehow I was able to walk away from the helicopter into the sunset, holding Melissa.
Yep, hand in hand, walked into the sunset. Didn't even look back at the building.
You
Didn't even
dog.
look back at the building. I don't know who Melissa is. I still don't. My one question that I remember asking that made you, this is what broke you and made you really mad, was I said, was she hot?
Ellie.
Yeah.
To which Ducky said, fuck you, what does that matter? And then continued to cry.
It did.
And I was like, well, geez, I mean, he told me you weren't going to live. And that is maybe the funniest dream, just because of how ridiculous the entire situation was. But it's not the only one.
No.
But it's always Melissa.
I don't know why. I think it's because
I
at
don't-
one time, I think what happened was,
I made a joke one
no,
time.
I think you were sleeping and you sometimes sleep talk. And I think you said Melissa's name. And I smacked the dog shit out of you and woke your ass up. And you were like, what the fuck? And I was like, who is she? And you were like, what? And I was like, you said another girl's name. And he's like, I'm asleep. And I was like, I don't care. You said Melissa. So who is she? And he was like, fuck if I know. And then rolled over and went back to sleep.
Fucking dream about Melissa. I don't even know. I don't have aphantasia, and I couldn't tell you what Melissa looks like.
She's
She
blonde.
had the dream, and she couldn't. Oh, apparently she's blonde.
She was blonde.
Which, you know me better than anybody. Blondes are not my type.
I know.
Which should be, if you had said redhead,
Clearly. How does aphantasia affect people who have it? As somebody who has aphantasia, I can tell you that most people who have it struggle with things like remembering faces. For me, I feel like I remember faces until I don't. It's weird. Like, I need a name and a voice to go with the face. So, like, people that I work with, that I talk to on a daily basis, my favorite branch manager, like, without a shadow of a doubt, I know exactly what she looks like. I can pick her out of a crowd. But somebody who works in the contact center that I've maybe only talked to a handful of times, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Recalling visual memories, which can suck because sometimes you really want to remember something, and for the life of you, you can't. This is why I take a lot of photos, so I can remember. Meditation apps that say, imagine a peaceful forest. Nope, sorry, it's just trees conceptually for me. But the silver lining, horror movies don't leave creepy images stuck in our brain. So basically, aphantasia is like the ultimate post-horror cleanse. No, that doesn't mean you get to watch more scary movies.
Then it's not a benefit.
But my question for you guys is, what?
horror cleanse. You don't watch horror.
I'm aware.
Forget the horror movies. I'd be blasting fucking Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or
I'll watch
Ghost
Ghost
Nation.
She'll
Adventures.
watch. Listen, she will watch Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunter, but God forbid, I try to watch Nosferatu as a watch party in Discord. Ducky's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to watch Nosferatu. It's scary. The funniest though, listen, the funniest one to this day was she's watched it since then. But the first time I tried to get her to watch the Rob Zombie Halloween, the original Rob Zombie Halloween,
Yes.
she made it 30 minutes into the movie, and the entire bed was shaking because she was terrified.
I can't remember the name of it, but oh no. So a couple weekends ago, Katie's brother came up and we did a movie night.
Yeah. I remember you saying he was there.
So we watched Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
Best movie ever.
And he goes,
Might be a stretch.
he was like, oh yeah, he's
That's
like,
franchise, yeah.
he's like, Ash
Of course.
versus Evil Dead. And I was like, yeah, he's like, this is like the precursor to that. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And he's like, it's super gory.
Yes, it is.
Katie doesn't do horror movies. And I'm sitting there watching this and I'm going, this movie seems so familiar with the amount of gore in it
Mm-hmm.
that the only movie that I can draw a comparison to is another Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No.
I'm trying to think. I've got them all.
It's House of a Thousand Corpses.
No.
Is the one I'm thinking of, but no. I think I know which one you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it.
So Evil Dead, as far as gore content goes, reminds me of his Devil's Rejects.
Yes. Yes. Very, very gory.
Very gory.
Very, very good. Also very good movie. There's a Rob Zombie movie. Is it 3 from Hell? Is that
That's
the other one?
final.
Yeah,
That's his last one, right?
That's
Yeah,
the
I think
last
so.
one of the trilogy of the Firefly family. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 3 from Hell. That's another really good one.
So is 31.
31 was trippy.
Yes.
I think
And
There's a movie that I'm thinking of that the dude gets cut in half by a glass door. What movie is that?
Sounds like
That
Final
don't narrow it
Destination.
down.
No, it's not Final Destination. I want to say it's something 100 Ghosts or something.
Yes.
Oh,
There's 13 ghosts
13
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that had a monk in it.
Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
It also
I don't know
had,
why.
it also had Shaggy in it.
Yep.
So for you three that don't have
Five Nights at
Aphantasia,
Freddy was really good.
it was.
You said Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie. Have you watched
I
that?
liked it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
liked
We
it.
watched
I
it.
went,
that's what
We
I'm
watched it
saying.
with the Nugget. He really enjoyed it.
Part
I went
two
to
mean,
is
theaters to see
being
it.
filmed right now.
Yeah, they are filming part 2.
He's a Five Nights at Freddy's fanatic. He knows all of the things.
Right.
It's what? It's Freddy, Chica, Foxy.
Freddy, Chica,
Foxy.
Foxy.
Who's the other one that's in the movie?
There's
Freddy, Chica, Foxy. Oh my god.
Springtrap, isn't it?
Springtrap.
Was Springtrap in it?
Yes, because what's his face was Springtrap.
Shaggy played him.
Shaggy played Springtrap. I can't think of his name. His actual name. Matthew something.
Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love him. He's awesome.
I
Are you
can't remember the
Googling?
name of the movie, but the one where he's sitting there and they're all sitting there talking, and he's like, you know, the guys. He's like, well, let's talk about the guys who've had their heart broken and rocked. They've been cheated on, dumped, lied to. He said, those, believe it or not, those are the guys that had the most beautiful hearts. I can't remember what movie that is, but he's like, he goes on a tangent about women, but it's kind of like a relatable tangent because it's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna have to look that movie up.
I think Goblin's looking up the animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's.
I looked that up on the dream subject. It's weird. I do not have aphantasia, so I can picture everything. Horror movie fanatic, but I have never had a nightmare.
Lucky you.
Even as a little kid, Freddy Krueger would pop up in my dream, and I would roll with it, or zombies.
That's hilarious.
I'd be like, "Where's the shotgun?"
I used to have dreams about Chucky when I was little because I was supposed to spend the night at my cousin and my aunt's house.
It was not. It was not Springtrap.
Oh, it
It was
wasn't
Bonnie.
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 Spring Bonnie makes an appearance. Circus Baby. Golden Freddy is in it,
Mhm.
appearing somewhere in it. Balloon Boy, Shadow Freddy, Mangle is the other one.
Mangle.
A
Yep.
similar movie. Has anybody seen Willy's Wonderland with Nick Cage?
Mm-mm.
It's got
Willy's
the animatronic. It's
Wonderland.
Five Nights at Freddy type, but it's Nick Cage, and it's come out like 2 years ago. Maybe it's pretty good.
Interesting. But I was supposed to spend the night at my cousin's house because my parents were there with my aunt and they were celebrating something. And so we went to the local Blockbuster. Heyo. And they rented. My oldest cousin is 5 years older than me, or 5 or 6. And then her sister is like 2 or 3, or I think 3 years older than me. So we were basically raised as siblings, and I love them, but the rivalry be running deep. And Goblin can attest to that because he saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
But so we went. They were like, "We want Chucky," and I was like, "Okay." I was probably 6 or 7, maybe. It was right when Chucky came out. So if you want to Google that, and I can tell you how old I was when Chucky first came out.
I don't think you were born yet when it came out.
It was 89, I think.
Yeah.
Chucky?
Is the
Yeah.
original Child's Play? I think
It
think it's
wasn't
89.
Child's Play. It was the one where he gets put in the box with nails. Somebody gets put in a box with nails.
Oh, that's John Ritter from Three's Company. That's Bride of Chucky.
It might have been Bride of
Yeah.
Chucky. What year did that come out?
Because they fill his face full of nails.
I'm waiting for my Googler. When I
Bride
have...
of Chucky was 1998. It looks like. I think that's an 8.
Okay, so I was 93. So
You
I
were
was 5.
93.
I was born in 93. So I was 5, probably 5 years old. And so my mom was like, "Yep, you guys can get it." So I got Scooby Doo because, that was the thing. I was
Oh, I
5
forgot
or
Jennifer
6.
Tilly is the bride of Chucky.
Yeah. And so we were put in a room, and my mom was like, "Okay, watch Scooby Doo. You guys can watch Chucky later when she's asleep." Well, I was convinced, peer pressured, to watch Chucky and not be a baby. So we watched Chucky, and the caveat was you'll watch it and then we'll watch Scooby Doo, and then you'll go to bed and you'll just remember Scooby Doo. I was like, cool. So we watched all of Chucky. I was petrified, and we switched the movies, put in Scooby Doo. My dad came in because he got mad at my aunt, and we were going home. Didn't even get past the beginning credits of Scooby Doo, and we had an hour drive home in pitch black. And I was petrified the whole time. Terrified, absolutely hated it. 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend. Now, as an adult watching The Bride of Chucky, I question my 5-year-old self. Why the fuck were you scared?
You can't explain why, like, as a kid. Like, I've told this, I think I've told this story in Discord. I don't know if I ever said it on the podcast, but when I was a kid, and granted, I do defend myself very much so, that I had food poisoning, but also 102 Dalmatians.
I know this story.
I don't even remember what part of it.
It's
of
Cruella
102
DeVille.
Dalmatians. No, I understand that, but I don't remember what part of the movie. But she was doing something to the puppies.
Surprise! Yes, find it and kill it.
And I did not like what she was doing to the puppies. And it twisted a food poisoned stomach. And I looked at my dad and went, I don't feel good. And at that age, like, I was young. At that age, like, that was kind of my go-to of, like, if I don't want to do something, I don't feel good, we're gonna leave. And my dad kind of, it's the kid that cried wolf. My dad was like, no, you're fine. And I was not. And I cleared out a movie theater.
Yeah.
Very much so. Nobody cared about the movie anymore.
I wouldn't, honestly.
Like, here's the thing, and I know I'm not the only one that's experienced this. I bet I'm willing to bet that Goblin and Hank have at some point experienced this. Have you ever been asleep and had a dream so realistic? For example, you're passed out. You're like dead to the world asleep. And in your dream, you walk up, you got to go to the bathroom. So you walk up to a urinal, you start peeing. Make up your piss.
Oh, dude. As a kid, I had a dream like that. And my mom found me standing over my brother's crib, pissing down the side of his crib. And she was like, "Hey, why are you not in the bathroom?" And I literally, she'll tell you, I literally told her I am in the bathroom. And I was sleepwalking. Thought I had walked to the bathroom because I was dreaming that I had to go to the bathroom really bad. And I peed all over the side of my little brother's crib.
Nice.
My story like that was I was probably 8 or 9, and I was dead asleep, and I was just standing at a cliffside, and I was looking down, and I saw people down there. So I was a little kid. So what did I think? All of a sudden, I feel something hit my face, and I open my eyes, and I spit straight in the air, and it come right back at me.
So, I think the funniest, there's a couple that Goblin has done that has really just made me go, what are you dreaming about? But we were driving to Chicago, right? We were going on vacation, and it's just me and him in the car because the Nugget was already in Chicago. So it's just me and him in the car. He had driven the first half. And we switched, and I was driving the second half. I had my spooky little crime podcast on. We were it was pitch black. We were like
Oh,
the
yeah, she was
only
listening
one.
to. She was listening. I remember it. It
Mhm.
was like somebody in the wood, in like a wooden cabin somewhere, and they were being murdered.
Yeah.
And I was asleep, but I could hear it.
Yeah.
And I was dreaming about it.
Yeah. So I'm driving. We're one of the only cars on the road. There's some construction cones, but nothing's happening. And so the construction, the lane, I'm in the lane, right? And we come up to a curve, but the cones made it look weird. And I jerked the wheel a little bit because I was confused on where the lanes were. And this man from a dead sleep goes, "No!" And like hands in
And
front of him, panicking.
I grabbed the oh shit handle and put my hand, like the worst reaction you could have of like
Scared the
putting your
shit out of
hand
me.
directly over where the airbag is. Like worst thing you could possibly do. I grabbed the oh shit handle, braced myself on the dash, and was like, "What is happening?" And she's just like, it literally, like the way the cones were and the headlights were reflecting off of it, it looked like she was going straight through a 90-degree turn.
Yep. It was not. And I was panicked and then couldn't stop laughing because he was mortified and then promptly went back to sleep like nothing happened. It's great. I think
Yeah.
that's the funniest thing.
When we were kids, my brother used to pick on me all the time. Like he would mess with me because I would talk in my sleep. And I remember this one time we had just literally, like, we're talking mid to late 90s. We just watched Top Gun for the first time.
Great movie.
Oh yeah.
Every little boy that watches Top Gun, every kid that watched Top Gun when they were kids in the 90s, always that like clicked with them. They wanted to be a fighter pilot.
Mhm.
I want to fly. I want to fly. Every kid. So I went to sleep, and apparently I was started talking in my sleep. So my brother came down off the top bunk and was messing with me, and he goes, "Where'd he go, Maverick? Which way to go?" And apparently I said something along the lines of, "I'm gonna hit the brakes, he's gonna fly right by me."
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did something a lot more evil when I was like 5.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
When I was like 5, my younger sister was like, let's see, she would have been 3.5, 4, and she was having a nightmare over there because she'd walked in, me and my dad watching Nightmare on Elm Street, and I knew what she was dreaming about, so I snuck over there. I got in big trouble.
I bet.
I cut
Bet you did.
4 slits into her pillow by her head. So when she woke up, she saw those slits and talk about panic.
You're such an ass.
Oh, I bet your dad whooped your ass.
Get the belt, boy.
Your butt looked like
Yep.
ground beef for a week. Shit.
Right.
So
I still laugh.
we've gone on a
It was
tangent
worth it.
for dreams. But something else I want to bring up about aphantasia is there's a question that is aphantasia genetic? Which I find interesting. So there is some research that aphantasia may be genetic, meaning sometimes families don't even know and they find out together. So just imagine sitting at dinner and casually going, "Wait, you see things in your head?" And your cousin or your brother or your sister is like, "You don't?" Cue an existential crisis over mashed potatoes, because that would probably send me into a spiral if I didn't know that I had aphantasia. So while I was doing the script last night, I got to that part of the research and I went, "Huh." So I called the Nugget, and he's 12, preteen, comes over, and I was like, "I got a question for you." He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Close your eyes." "Oh, Mom." And I'm like, "Just
That sounds like him.
right." I was like, "Just humor me. Just humor me. Close your eyes and picture an apple." And he goes, "Okay." I was like, "Do you see an apple?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "But do you actually see an apple in the blackness floating in the dark? or do you just know what an apple looks like and you're only thinking of an apple? And he goes, that one. And I was like, holy shit, you probably have aphantasia. So I pulled up the test that I showed you guys earlier and I said, what do you see? And he goes, 5. And I was like, awesome, you have aphantasia. And he's like, what does that mean? I was like, it means you're different. Hey, yo. And so then I turned to him and I was like, call your dad. And he's like, no, I'm not going to call my dad. I was like, call your dad. No. And I was like, I'm going to call your dad. So I pick up my phone and I call him. And I was like,
Bunch of
hey.
divergence.
I was like, hey, are you busy? And he's like, kinda. And I was like, I just have a really quick question. It's super random. He's like, okay. I was like, if you close your eyes and think of an apple, what do you see? And he's like, what in the world? And I was like, just humor me. Right. And he's like, I don't see anything. I'm not a person who daydreams like that. And I was like, holy shit, you have aphantasia. And he's like, what is that? So I explained it to him and I was like, the nugget has it. I have it. It's genetic. And he goes, interesting. And I was like, that was it. And he was like, okay, bye. I was like, bye. So it got me thinking. And I called my dad. It was 8:30 at night. He is a strict 8 o'clock bedtime, always. And I call him and I look and I went, fuck, he's probably asleep. It's just going to ring through. And he answers, hello. And I was like, hey, I have a really weird question for you. And he starts laughing because every time he calls me for something, that's his line. That is his intro line. Hey, mija, I have a question for you. And it makes me laugh every single time. And he starts laughing. He's like, what's your question? And I was like, if you close your eyes, can you picture an apple? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, do you see like it? He's like, I see a full-blown apple. Why? And I was like, because I know that I have aphantasia. This is what it is. And apparently it may be genetic. And I was curious because the nugget has it and his dad has it. You're the next person that I can call to see who has it. And he starts laughing his ass off. And he's like, yes, I can see it. I can see images in my brain. He's like, you get that from your mom. And I start laughing. And he says, and I quote, she couldn't see shit. He was like, I could tell her, like, so for context, my dad, before I was born, he built the house that I grew up in for a time from the ground up. Like, the only thing he didn't do was the foundation because he didn't know how to pour a foundation. And he did all the plumbing and the electrical and just had an electrician and a plumber sign off on it. But he built the entire house. Like, I have picture albums of pictures of him building it by himself. So that's fucking fantastic. But he said it was a struggle for him and my mom when they were designing the house because she couldn't visualize what he was saying. So he had to spend hours drawing out pictures so she would understand what he was saying. And he was like, that's her. You've got that from her 1,000%. I was like, that's kind of cool. And he was like, was that the question? I was like, yeah, that was the question. He's like, okay. And I was like, you can go back to bed now.
You got me wondering if my mom has it.
Right. So now you
she
can
likes
ask.
to rearrange in the living room, but she cannot rearrange because she
Right.
cannot picture where it goes or it fit right. And she'll call me in there and says, how should this go?
So
She says, I want this caddy corner in a room. And I said, you're going to lose half this room doing that.
Mhm.
She said, no, it'll fit perfect.
Mhm.
I said, no, you're not picturing it. And she says,
she
what
can't.
do you mean?
Yeah,
no,
because she can't. She doesn't know she
anytime
can't.
she rearranges, she has to call me to plan it out for her. Like, this is where everything needs to fit.
Yeah, it's funny.
You got me wanting to test my wife now.
Hey,
Just out of curiosity, like,
that's something you can do and bring it back.
aphantasia?
We can bring it back next podcast. You guys got some homework. So one of my other really weird questions, not aphantasia related, is what kind of weird traits run in your family? So for like us, me and the Nuggets dad are both left-handed. And no matter how hard I tried, the Nugget is right-handed. Exclusively right-handed. Cannot do shit with his left hand to save his life. Kitty! That's distracting, sir.
That's a point for me.
But it's interesting. I haven't even been giving points. That's the fucking shitty part.
Is that a pussy point?
Ass, bro.
Not the pussy smelling like ass.
No,
My
he
mom
just
was
straight smells
righty. My
like
dad was a
raunchy ass
lefty, and I'm ambidextrous.
shit coming up here
See,
trying to love on me.
I would love to be
Oh,
ambidextrous, but I can't write anything with my right
you're
hand.
just like,
But I
The only
know some
problem with it
people.
is
no, you
in
stink.
school as a kid when I was little, they beat it out of me. I
Yeah.
can still use it, but I never do.
Right.
Like if my hand is hurting, I can write with my left hand. I just never use it.
So, like, I know left-handed people who can't use a mouse with their right hand. I was taught how to use it with my right hand, so I don't have to use my left hand for my mouse. When I was learning guitar in high school, I learned right-handed, not left-handed, because that's the way that the guitar was strung. It was strung the traditional way. Looking at the nugget, you'll never notice it, but I do because I'm his mom. Hi. If you look at his ears, so like, you know how some people have their ears, like my lobes are attached? Some people don't have earlobes that are attached. The nugget has 1 and 1. So my earlobes are attached, but his dad's are not. So one ear he has an earlobe attached and the other one he doesn't, which is freaking weird. It's so weird.
I don't
Weird.
really know any that really run in my family because I only know like half of my biological family.
Mhm.
So I don't think there's really any on my mom's side.
Well, we know big heads run in Goblin's family.
Same on my dad's side. I got it.
Your brother, your nephew.
Like if I put a cap on like Gob's wearing right now, I have to put it on the very last dot and it's still tight.
You got a big head.
Yes.
Hang on, no, hang on. In this light, the way that his head turned, he kind of looked like Eminem there for a minute.
I could see
Thank
it.
you.
I could see it.
Because I'm white with a beard and a hat.
So
The beard's weird, dude.
I
No,
like
mine
your
is weird.
beard. So would discovering your whole family either has or doesn't have aphantasia be bonding or just confusing?
Probably confusing.
I mean, it makes me want to like describe stuff to you and Dom and just watch the pure panic.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So there is a flip side to aphantasia.
I mean, that explains so much though. because and here's why. Like, I remember trying to explain to you, I'm gonna do this to build your PC, and trying to explain like I'm gonna route it this way. I'm gonna put the fan and stuff here. It's gonna be right here. And you looking at me like I was a fucking idiot. And was just like, that doesn't make sense. I was like, no, trust me, it will. Like, air's gonna come in here, it's gonna go up there, out the back, like it'll be fine.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Now look at it. Beautiful. And
Yeah,
pink.
it's gorgeous.
It
So the
is.
flip side of aphantasia is hyperphantasia. It's the exact opposite, meaning people have ultra vivid mental imagery. So they can rotate a banana in 3D. They can see an entire dance sequence, visualize a squirrel doing taxes in high def. It's like IMAX in your skull. So to see if you have hyperphantasia, can you mentally rotate like a Rubik's Cube in your brain? Like a
No.
fully solved Rubik's Cube. Can you not, it's like stop motion, but like physically rotating in your mind?
I mean, I can, but I couldn't solve a Rubik's Cube to
No.
save
can
my
do
life.
it.
Well,
but
it
I
has
couldn't
nothing to
solve
do
it.
with solving it, but I'm saying, can you physically, you know what a Rubik's Cube looks like, all of the colors on the Rubik's Cube. Do you
Trying to do that
see
made my
it?
eye twitch.
I mean, I can literally see it in my head, like rotating the actual like
Accesses?
sections.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, like,
So
I
you
can
might
see
have
that.
hyperphantasia.
I can see that in my head, like right now. But if you put one in my hand and was like, "Hey, solve this," I'd sit there and do it, and I can get a side or two,
Mhm.
but eventually I will get to a point where then I will fuck up the entire thing.
Yeah.
And
I'd close my eyes and do like a Matrix bullet time to stuff.
yeah,
All right. So let's do a segment. Can you picture this? So it's time for a challenge. I remembered we're supposed to be making points, so we'll give you some points here. I'm going to say a few things, and if you can picture it, great. If not, welcome to the Aphantasia Club. No dues, just vibes. A giraffe in a tutu doing ballet.
I'd picture that, yeah.
Yeah.
I just picture Melman.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I'm almost positive that in one of the Madagascar movies,
He had a
he's
tutu
in a
on.
tutu,
Yeah, he
Yes.
does.
and he was doing ballet.
Yeah.
So that's why I can literally see the
Okay,
scene.
let's do a different one.
Although let's just say the funniest scene of all those movies is when the grandma is beating the shit out of Alex.
Yes.
With the
Bad kitty.
Bad kitty. Like, that's the best.
So
Oh God, I
let's-
haven't seen it in years. I remember that now.
That or when Alex bites Marty on the ass.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Oh, when they're
My
real
butt?
hungry.
Yeah. So let's do something that isn't in a movie. How about Nicolas Cage riding a unicycle on the moon while holding a rubber chicken?
That sounds like something he'd actually do. So
Yeah.
I can picture
Yeah.
it.
Do you see him physically moving, or is he just stationary?
I see him
I
more
see him
like
pedaling it.
I see him more like Matt Hoffman on a BMX bike, but it's Nicolas Cage on a unicycle.
Put
And
that
for
down.
Some reason, for some reason, but I need a visual aid. So for some reason, he's not holding a rubber chicken, but he's wearing a rubber chicken.
That's a
And he's
cursed image.
He's going through the craters, flipping because the gravity's low.
I was picturing him doing it with that extreme face he makes, like in Ghost Rider or Face Off.
I
when he's just freaking
legitimately,
out.
I am legitimately going to type that in exactly as you said it into Chat GPT and see if it'll give me a video.
That's awesome.
When I picture it, he's in one spot, but he's actively trying to balance.
That's awesome.
Side note, just because you brought up Nicolas Cage, has anybody here seen the Spider Noir trailer?
Oh, they got a
Yes.
trailer out? No, I haven't seen the
Yeah,
trailer. yet.
they released a teaser for Spider Noir.
Yeah.
It actually looks pretty good.
It
Oh, I gotta
does.
pull that up.
Pull it up after the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I've got. I'm going to do a random challenge now. We're going to do a random, put that down, to pick the next host of the pod. So this will be how you get your points to be the host. So I'm going to pull this up. So this is our podcast random topics. We have a fuck ton of random topics here. So we're gonna roll for one, spin for one, whatever. And then you guys are going to have anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes answering whatever the question is. And whoever makes the most sense and or I just enjoy very much is going to be the host. So let's give her a spin.
Wait, does that mean that, like, we have to host on this topic?
No.
Oh.
So, the question is, what would your cult be about? What would your cult?
Oh shit.
Oh god, I snorted. Okay, so what would your cult be about? I am going to set a timer for all of you. So that way it's fair.
Kind of think.
You two look like you need time.
I was going to say, do you guys need some time? Do I need to give you like 3 minutes to think and just do like some elevator music? And I'll give you guys 6 minutes respectively to talk about
You're
what your
talking
cult
about
would
what
be
they
about.
believe in, right?
What they believe in, what they do. What would your cult be? If you became a cult leader, tell me about your cult. If that's
Should
how
be
you
no
want to
Kool-Aid in it.
if you want to pitch me to join your cult, feel free. If you just want to tell me about your cult, whatever, just what would your cult be about? So I will give you each all 6 minutes to describe, pitch, whatever, tell us about your cult. Who wants to go first?
I'll
I
get
will
my
move.
hand out of the way.
Oh,
I was like,
oh,
I
okay.
will put your names in
Hank
his
can go.
wheel. All right, Hank, you got 6 minutes from when you start talking about your cult.
Cult of the Sacred Taco.
Okay. Tell me about Cult of the Sacred Taco.
One of our main focuses as a group is we worship the sacred taco. It's on a pedestal. And we go around spreading the word of the taco. And one of our phrases to try to get members is, have you had a taco today?
Okay.
You need a taco today.
If
Life
only-
is greater with tacos.
If only we recorded this on Tuesday, that would have been way funnier because it would have been Taco Tuesday.
Right?
But it's a Wednesday. But I give you points for creativity. You still got 5 minutes. So tell us
Oh,
more about your cult that I've
That
already
didn't
forgotten the
go
name.
That
Cult
didn't
of the
go
Sacred Taco.
Yeah, that didn't go the way that I thought it was.
He's
going
talking
to.
about the
No,
food
it
taco, not the
Yeah,
pink
I know.
taco, okay?
Initially,
Yeah, so me and Reaper both looked into the camera and had the same reaction.
I thought it was going to go south. It didn't
Well,
go south.
Nobody asked what kind of taco the sacred taco is.
What is the sacred taco?
It's a fish taco.
A fish taco.
Fish taco.
Okay. Tell me more. I am intrigued about your cult.
You're intrigued about his fish taco?
Well, we'll go around trying to express to people how empty and sad your life is without a fish taco in it. That you need tacos to survive.
Goblin is fighting for his life right now. I hope you guys all see that.
I mean, it gives meaning to it.
So
The
what
fishier
kind
the better.
Oh my god. I'm scared to ask this question.
Yes.
What type of activities does your cult partake in?
We go around. One of the things we do is we'll go to restaurants, and when we see people eating like pizza, we'll fold it into a taco and say, "You must have this sacred taco in your life. Here's your pizza back, and here's a pamphlet."
Where is your cult based out of?
It's based out of L.A. because
Why not?
right.
It's close to the taco capital of the world.
The taco capital of the world. Now I'm curious. What
So-
is the taco capital of the world?
But there's
Probably LA.
a downside to the cult is if you join it and say you only eat vegan or veggie tacos, you get a timeout room.
And what's in the timeout
Oh.
room?
Not a timeout room.
They get sit
What's
down
this?
in a room that is very bright, full of monitors, and all it is Taylor Swift videos on repeat for 24 hours. If you do not follow the guidelines of the taco.
Okay, I know this is going to be an extreme tangent, but have y'all heard the?
Yeah, you can't. You're eating up his own time. You can do the tangent later.
Sorry. I'm
Also,
sorry.
the taco capital of the world is Mexico City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Always wanted to go there and have.
Which is basically LA.
It's also illegal when you're worshiping the sacred taco to put ketchup on any of your tacos.
Who the fuck puts
Ketchup
ketchup
does
on
not
a
go on
taco?
Ketchup on their
taco.
tacos.
That's like
That's
putting,
exactly what I said when I saw it.
it's like putting laundry detergent in rice.
Right?
What was it? Orange chicken Tide Pod?
Yes.
Okay. I don't even know who that was.
You're welcome.
Okay. So you guys are based out of LA. What's your numbers looking like? How many people do you have in there?
We're up to 5.
5. Okay.
Yes.
Are they mostly
A
men?
lot of
So-
people do
female?
not like the taco we're going to grow. Oh, they're all female.
They're all
So-
female.
So when you recruit, do you just walk around and grab them by the taco?
A full-on Donald Trump.
What the fuck?
I got her.
Not the full-on Donald Trump. Oh my god.
I fought that joke for so long, I could not make it.
Interesting. Anything else you want to tell us about the cult that you are creating about fish tacos? You have a minute left. Really sell it.
Well, the higher our cult is in a hierarchy, and the spicier your taco, the higher you up on the run.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
But crab tacos are not allowed.
Emotional damage.
So how do you define the spiciness of one's taco?
If it makes you want to go, whoa, when you take a taste of it, it's spicy.
Are we just gonna skip over the fact that you said taste and not bite? I'm now very confused. Not confused. I'm concerned. Is it an actual fish taco we are talking about?
Well, when you bite something, don't you taste it?
But you specifically said taste.
Hey,
That
it's
just
in
sounds
your
like a
mind
skill
what I
issue.
mean. You have to be a member to find out.
She literally can't picture what you mean.
But you both can.
Your timer's up.
Me and Reaper are both very concerned over here.
Oh my god. I quite literally
Fuck me
can't.
in my ass right now, please.
I quite literally can't picture what you. But
Ducky's brain right now.
Her PC's overheating.
Pretty much.
I can't breathe.
You know what goes good with fish tacos?
What?
Oh god. Oh my god, that was great. Thank you. Repeat the name of your cult again.
Cult of the Sacred Taco.
Cult of the Sacred Taco. All right.
So see, it was slightly where we were expecting it to go.
Yes. All right.
Slightly.
So I have awarded you points accordingly, Hank. We will discover those at the end. Who wants to go next? And my cheeks hurt from laughing so hard.
I'll go, I
Go
guess.
ahead.
All right. Your time starts when you start talking about your cult.
Okay. Well, the most important thing about my cult is to not talk about my cult. Because a lot of times with cults, they end up like a very sad story. Here in Texas, there was a cult once, and a lot of people knew about said cult. And because of that, we now know of it as the infamous Waco event.
I remember
So, rule number 1 of the unspoken cult is to not speak of said cult. What do we do in said cult? You're not in the cult, so you don't get to know. It is unspoken. How do you get recruited into the cult? You don't. You just wake up one day and you're in it. And if you talk about said cult, then you vanish.
Like into thin air?
There. Oh,
Or
not
like
necessarily into
cement
thin air.
shoes?
No, just a room where no light escapes. Very dark.
That's terrifying. So,
Yes.
can you tell us anything about your cult?
I could. But then you would have to go into the dark room.
So,
And if I told you about said unspoken cult, it would endanger a lot of lives. And I'm here to protect lives. So, I yield my time in hopes of saving lives and protecting lots of people and protecting dogs most of all. Because we all know
Run!
the ATF doesn't like dogs. And they are very proud of Waco. And so with this, I will finish and yield my time to Sir Reaper of his cult. And with one final word, fuck the ATF. Because we love dogs and we love people and we love freedom.
And we love guns.
I didn't say that.
Oh, how about me?
I
well,
mean, that's fine.
so you'd like to
They don't
yield?
need to know that.
You'd like to yield your 3 minutes and 28 seconds?
I will yield the rest of my time because I am protecting people and dogs.
Okay.
I'm saving lives.
All right. Reaper
You're
looks
an
like
asshole.
he's planning something. Did he just take your idea?
No. He's got me going down a fucking rabbit hole over here with my
knew I
fucking
would.
conspiracy theories and shit.
I knew I would. I had that
Because he had
from the instant it popped up. I was like, I'm gonna bring up Waco and I'm gonna not talk about it because I'm saving lives. That was the whole plan.
because the whole and that's what triggered it. The whole thing about fucking Waco. Because does anybody know? Does anybody know what Timothy McVeigh said the Oklahoma City bombing was because of?
Fucking Waco.
Fucking Waco.
You just said
I
Reaper
knew.
spiraling.
I knew I would spiral Reaper and it would just be great.
Look, he knew that ATF had offices in that building.
Yep.
And some of the ATF agents that were in the building were at Waco. So in defense of Waco, he blew up the city building.
Interesting. All
And
right.
actually admitted it when asked why he did it.
Alrighty.
Just to point out, we are not defending Timothy McVeigh.
No, not at all.
No,
The
we're
guy
not
was-
defending what he did. It's just that's a fact. He did do it because as a reaction to Waco. It's
Yes.
part of why he did it.
He was so upset with the ATF that he wanted to strike back over the whole Waco incident. Because he supported what the cult in Waco was doing.
Interesting. The more you know, I suppose. All right, Reaper. Are you ready to take your 6 minutes to tell us about your cult?
Give me 3.
You need 3.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Well,
not very good.
you have 6 minutes when you start.
Mine's just the NASCAR cult. We go to races, hang out, have fun, drink beer, raise hell, praise Dale. There
Okay.
you go. Wrapped up in a nutshell.
How do you recruit new members?
You want to go to a race?
I was
Well,
gonna say-
ever been to a NASCAR race? No. Surprisingly, I picked that, and I've never actually been to a NASCAR race.
My stepdad has been to one NASCAR race in his life, and guess which one he decided to go to?
Talladega.
The day Dale Earnhardt died.
Ooh.
That would have been
He was
Daytona.
at that race. Yeah.
It was Daytona, not Talladega.
He
No,
corrected himself.
now, as much as there's reasons why I want to go back to Alabama. I will see an Alabama Crimson Tide game at Paul Bryant Stadium before I die. And I will see a Talladega race before I die.
Shake and bake, baby.
So that's all you want us to tell us about your cult?
Yeah,
Raise
pretty much.
hail, what is it? Raise hell, praise Dale?
Praise Dale, praise Dale.
Okay. Are you yielding your 4 minutes?
Let the 3 flags fly. Yes, I yield.
You guys are fucking wild. Like,
I
I
mean,
can't.
I gotta say, like, I'm with Reaper's cult. You got,
Yeah, I'd join that one.
You got cars, booze, boobs,
And
butts,
rednecks.
And loud
redneck shit. Like,
I mean, it doesn't get
it's
any
the
better
top
than
5.
Cletus McFarlane at Daytona. There I was, flying around Daytona like a bald eagle.
Yeah.
Like, it don't get any better.
I said that the other night, and Ducky was like, "Who is that supposed to be?" I was like, "That's Cletus." She was like, "Cletus." It's like, yeah.
Cletus McFarlane
Twin
stepped into a race car, an actual official race car. He runs our thing.
Did you see him put what's his name in the wall?
Yes, I did. He's like, I don't know what happened there. He's like, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
He said, I forgot there was no restrictor plate.
Yeah. He's like, I thought it was like Daytona. I forgot there was no restrictor plate on this thing.
Ducky's
He
like,
said, I zagged when I should have zigged.
Ducky's got that look. It's like if we start talking about cars or we start talking about guns, Ducky just has this look of like, how long is this gonna last?
Yeah.
Even better. Throw out the broad topic of conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, we can go down deep rabbit hole on that.
Well, with that being said, I have tabulated the points that totally mean everything. They mean nothing. Yeah. So I have the points all put together. Why are you pointing that way?
Well, on my screen, that's where Goblin's at. So
Oh, he's that way for you, for me. Which is funny because as this video,
Reaper's over.
I'm in the corner, like.
So it'll be very funny because you guys are pointing in all different directions, but the only video we're using, as long as my audio is fine, is mine. So it's Goblin, Reaper, me, Hank. So that'll be funny.
See, Hank's here.
For me, he's below you.
Yeah, I'm right below you on mine too.
Yeah, it's funny. Well,
it should all be in the same spot.
I think it's just because the cameras.
It just is, but what it is it's like his camera might be flipped.
Yeah.
So for him pointing a certain direction, looks like he's pointing at me, but it might be actually pointing the other direction.
Yeah. So
like, is your door to your right or to your left, Reaper?
It's to my right.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I got windows to my left.
Let's not get into that because then I'm gonna get all discombobulated. So we're gonna again, the points were awarded. So congratulations to the winner of this podcast and the next episode host. I did have to change the scripts. Congratulations, Goblin. He clawed his way to victory and will be hosting the next episode of the Undead Family Podcast, which I know he's super excited for because, that's just who he is. But let's be clear, he's not a goblin. He's the goblin. He'll be the host of the next episode, so I hope you guys are prepared for some delightfully chaotic cackles and chaos that is completely unhinged. So the points stand for today's episode. Reaper in 3rd place with 43 points. Hank with 47. And Goblin with 51. Because he got me on his conspiracy. Well, on his cult. It was very entertaining. Couldn't stop laughing.
It was very Fight Club-esque.
Yes.
That was the whole point. The whole point was Fight Club. Like, The whole idea of wanting to know what the fuck is with this cult. But if I tell you, I'm gonna put you in a dark room.
Yeah.
So, totally unrelated,
Oh
but
boy.
equally hilarious. Has anyone seen the video of Little John at the concert explaining
Yes.
To the
where
window, to the
window-
walls.
The
Yes.
window,
where the window and the wall was?
Can we also talk about the fact that that crowd was not hyped up enough for him?
Oh,
So he
hell
was
no.
like, yo, let me talk to you. Where's the window? And like half the crowd went this way, half the crowd went that way. And he's like, no, y'all, the window is over here. He said, that's the window.
He's like, that's a motherfucking window.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Well, before we get off on any more tangents, because we are at an hour and 50 minutes, I'm going to wrap this mind-bending, brain-twisting episode with lots of tangents and really good conversation. I'm very proud of us. Whether your mind is a blank canvas, a retro 90s screensaver, or a full-on Dolby digital surround dream machine, you are always a part of the Undead family. Yay! So thanks for listening and dealing with our chaos. Don't forget to subscribe, drop us a spooky little review, and share what is your brain showing you. We want to know if it's wild, weird, or wonderfully blank like mine. That came out wrong. Whatever. Until next time, stay curious, stay creepy, and remember the brain may be strange, but family is way stranger. Bye.